Hey team, so today's topic is very important. I was recently asked a question by another runner who said, how do I stop comparing myself to other runners? And I think it's so important to make sure that you're focusing on what you yourself can control, okay? You have the authority of how much mileage you're putting in each day. You have the choice of doing doubles each week if you're training for your specific race. You know what you have to put in. But comparing yourself to other athletes, regardless of what times they run, is just going to sap your mental strength. You can't control what other athletes are doing and what times they run. Okay, there over the years I had many athletes that I competed against that had faster track times, faster road racing times than I had, and all I could focus on was my own workouts. I mean, of course, it's natural to see other athletes running specific times that maybe you have a goal of running, and and seeing where you're currently at, and then seeing what these other athletes are running, and sometimes it can diminish your motivation, because there's times where you're seeing maybe somebody has run a, a 2 mile in 12 flat and you're currently at 15:20, and you're like, how on earth did this athlete run that fast, and what do I need to do in order to get to that time? When The most important thing to keep in mind is just what you're doing on a daily basis. Okay, make sure you focus on a specific legitimate plan that's going to set you up for success in whatever race distance you're going for. Okay, what I've tried to do at RunDreamAchieve.com is create training plans and running courses that will help get you as the athlete a new personal best faster, because you're training more specific to your race time rather than just focusing on volume, just running high mileage. Um, I've tried to really narrow down the types of things that I really focused on when I was preparing for my own races. How many miles a week I need to be running, what percentage of my mileage should I be training below goal race pace, how fast should I be running my tempo runs, how long should my long runs be, how many miles or how many kilometers per week really should I be running. And that's what I've really tried to do in terms of preparing you as the athlete, so you're focusing mainly on, again, what you yourself can control, not on so much on what other athletes are running. And again, you're just taking your focus off of what you really need to be focusing on. And I know it's natural to, again, look at other athletes and um, compare yourself to them, and want to run faster times than you currently are. But just stay patient with yourselves. Really focus on the long-term vision. Know that what you're trying to do right now, I know you're trying to go, most athletes are trying to go after a specific time. So don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect it to happen overnight. And don't expect it to be simple throughout your training block. You're going to have times where you're doubting yourself. You're going to have times where you question if the specific event you're training for is really your event. And that takes time. Okay. Over the years, I didn't think the marathon distance was really my best event either. And I had many setbacks along the way. And I know if I would have quit in those setbacks and those times where I wasn't running as fast as I knew I was potentially capable of, I would have never ran 2:19 for the marathon. So it's just a matter of staying consistent, persistent with what you're doing, and again, focusing on your own training, what you put in to the work each week. Um, Comparing yourself to other athletes really is a waste of time. Okay, it's okay to gauge yourself and to see um, what other athletes are doing, but again, at the end of the day, all you can do as an athlete is put in the work and do the very best that you can in terms of your nutrition, in terms of how you're doing your long runs, focusing on your speed development, because again, you are not going to improve your body's lactate tolerance by running easy too much during the week. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you're focusing on, again, following a legitimate plan, investing in yourself. Maybe it's a running course. Maybe it's a course where you get guidance, where you get the additional tips that a training plan in and of itself isn't going to provide Whereas maybe a video where I'm talking to you and really covering a specific subject matter in depth, as well as following a training plan that's going to set you up for success. Okay. Worrying about what other runners have run prior to the start of your race is, again, taking you away from your mental focus where it really should be. And that's, again, yourself. Only you, in terms of the race itself, only you can put in the training prior to the start of your race, and only you can put up your own race when the gun goes off. So again, don't worry so much about what other runners have run, and don't compare yourself to what they've done, okay? Because I guarantee you, if you stay persistent and consistent enough for a long enough period of time, you are going to surpass anything that you currently think you're capable of doing. Trust me, when I was in high school, running a 5:30 mile as a freshman in high school, if somebody would have told me I would have run 5:19 mile pace for 26 miles, a decade later, I probably would have told you were nuts, because again, it's too big of a jump to think that long term. But it took several years to get to that point. So it's the same with you. Great results don't come about in a matter of a few weeks or a few months. We're talking years, and you can still enjoy the benefits of achieving short-term goals. Maybe that's running 20 seconds faster in your 5-mile race, or maybe breaking and taking a minute off of your 10-mile time. Regardless of what that is, you're going to have some short-term goals you're going to be able to achieve, but along the way, if you stay consistent and you believe in delayed gratification, which a lot of athletes just want quick results, it's not going to happen like that. So make sure that you stay focused on what you want. Focus on what you can control yourself. Don't worry so much about what the other athletes around you have run. Okay? If you stay persistent enough, you put in the work, you develop your speed, you train consistently below goal race pace, a few seconds slower than goal race pace, and spending a longer period of time not only doing long runs, but faster long runs that I talk about every other week, not every week, and not the entire run should not be run fast, but a mixture of fast, slow, and very fast efforts in those long runs. You're doing a combination of all the most important things that the best world-class athletes focus on. You're focusing on your hydration, getting plenty of sleep, not paying attention to the things that you don't have control over, okay? So what Joe or Jane has run compared to what you've run does not matter. What matters most is what you yourself can control yourself, and that's putting in the daily work, running slow enough on those recovery days so that you are getting the biggest benefit and the biggest return on your investment from those hard anaerobic workouts. You're doing the things that champions do, and that's tenacity, staying focused and 100% committed on what you want and not letting up just because you have a few setbacks, just because Joe or Jane down the street beat you in a mile or beat you in a 5-mile. Again, comparing yourself is just wasting your time and energy, okay? So again, just stay consistent. If somebody beats you in a race this week, or in multiple weeks, and it just consistently happens, wait another year, wait another 2 years, and let's see who's in charge in a year or two from now. Okay, so I hope this makes sense, because I understand too. Earlier in my career, I did this as well, and it was a waste of my time. Okay, but again, I was consistent enough for a long enough period of time where I started to outrun athletes that were far faster than I was capable of, or earlier in my career. Athletes that had much faster track times, much faster 5K, 10K times, and even in the longer distances. Okay, it was just a matter of persistence and focusing on what I myself can control. So I hope this video is helpful for you in terms of how to stop comparing myself to other runners, if you're asking that question yourself. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Like this video, share it with other athletes, friends, family, peers that that might be interested in this topic. And definitely reach out to me anytime. If you comment, I will definitely respond back to you. I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you in the next video.